obsessed with the look of this Mustang, though. Something about, that's the Dark Horse, isn't it?
I think that might be a Celine front end.
Is it a Celine front end? I don't know. You probably know better than I. But
it's definitely good looking.
I'm very much a big fan of this.
Like the wing.
Yeah.
It's a big old wing.
Big old wang back there. Big old wang.
Big old wing for the stand.
But it's like we've got a score for Jonathan Ramirez. 79.3 for Jonathan Ramirez. Off to Brandon Shorten's second run. As soon as the lights go down, he's going to rip that. We have got Brandon ready to go for his second run. On the line, as soon as the lights go down, we're going to rip it and let him get his second score in. See if he can better that 77 he's got off the top. Excuse me, here we go. Flip initiation into that first inner clip. Not hitting the rumbles, but grabbing all of the slots in that clip. Let's see if he grabs the second one. Almost all. Could have been a little bit further inside. Grabbing his outer zones as he should. Far, very far in a good direction. I don't know if that'll better that 77 in his first run. Okay, I'm in. All right, Brandon coming through with a 69.3 for his second run. Not better than the first run of a 77. Joseph Kempinski up next in the Mustang from AOM. First run with a 79. If he can better this next run. The lights go down, and here we go. Joseph Kempinski, the S550. Flick it into this first inner clip. Grabbing it all, throwing the bumper on it. Getting the zones as you should. Looks like a smooth transition, minor correction. Noticed in that final transition, heavy left foot brake to steady the car through the third outer zone. Smooth flip around to finish out the line. But I don't know. We'll see if that betters a 79.
Yeah, good zone coverage, but I think he did sacrifice a little bit of confidence there, having a couple shaky corrections.
Yep, I don't know if this will better that 79. You know, this is obviously a good day to not be a judge. You know,
yeah, right?
We always
this
say
is
that
going
in
to
our
be
own
a
series, but we're like, oh, it's always a good day to not be a judge. That's I say one of the hardest jobs next to being a driver. They might be at the same level depending on the day and what is going on, but I'm happy to be in the seat with the microphone talking about the cool things on the screen. I'll tell you that much. But scores are coming through. They're waiting on a call here, and it looks like the second score is going to be an 83.3.
He's going to raise that score just a little bit.
Going to raise the bar a bit. Up next, Jordy Lopez. BS competition.
Jordy Lopez tearing into this first zone, grabbing all of the inner clip. Real confident. Could have been a little deeper in that first outer zone, but he grabs the second one spectacularly right to that inside clip. And all of the third to last outer zone, second to last outer zone, and across the line. Great zone coverage, confident driving. That's the kind of run we want to see.
Is absolutely what you want to see. You want to see that commitment. You want to see that drive, that intention shown through the run. And I think we got it right there. I know we got it right there. But up next we have Nicholas Natushel. But before that, we got to get that score. So, and it looks like his second score, if I'm seeing this
score
correctly,
of the day so far,
85.7.
Yep,
what it appears to be to me, an 85.7. So, very good run for Mr. Jordy Lopez on that one. Nicholas Natushel up right here in this S14 always makes me happy to see. I love a good S14. So we'll watch the lights go down. 1, 2, 3, and go. Here we go. Clean initiation, full commitment into that first center clip. Grabbing the two first outer zones with ease. Wide of that second inner clip. Not what you want to do in your second run. Missing a little bit of that third outer zone, but cleans it up towards the end. Likely to better his 67.7 on his first run. But he had some hiccups in that first run. I do recall that, but I don't know. We may lie just a bit beyond that, but we will see.
Going to come out with a 69.5 for his second run. He's going to better it by just about 2 points.
Just a bit. Up next, we have Dylan Davis, another GR86.
Dylan Davis tearing off. Nice big angle initiation. Grabbing that inner clip, but having to make a correction and still missing second outer zone. First outer zone. Really not on the great trajectory here in his second run. Doing a little better in the second half of the course though. And coming across the line with several mistakes. I don't think that's going to better his score.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to better that 68.3,
And he is actually going to zero out that run.
He's going to be sitting with a 68.3 from his first run. Up next, we have Peter Nemeth. This RTR Mustang. The lights go down and we are off. The big, nice initiation, grabbing that first center clip. Full commitment through the first and second outer zones. Around through the second inner clip where we've been seeing drivers have issues with commitment and flow through that area of the track, but not Peter. Keeps it locked in throughout this course, grabbing everything. A correction here and there, but I mean that's a good run. It's gonna be a really good run. Maybe the best run for this first qualifying group overall. I don't know, Dan.
That was a really, really technical run. I mean, you could see him setting up for the zones and just pushing that car right where it needed to go. Like you said, a few corrections, but I think they paid off to make a really good line, real confident line. What the judges say about that score.
All right, now we have Jonathan Ramirez. Peter Nemeth with an 87.7.
Raising the bar once again.
Moving it up there. He's in that top seat with the crown on his head right now. We'll see what Jonathan Ramirez has to offer. Flicks it in, grabs that inner clip. Heavy throttle through these first and second outer zones. Second inner clip, riding that inner line, putting it all on the line, and showing he's not here to play. He wants to take home the win today. Good, nice, clean finish. Maybe a little bit of more commitment in the middle of the track, but overall, pretty confident run, it looked like to me. So,
yeah, he definitely had to adjust his line there with a decent bit of left foot brake, but pulled it off smoothly.
Absolutely. So 79.3 on his first run. I think it's possible that he could better that first run, but it's going to be up in the air. So as our next group gets ready and we wait for this score.
Score coming in. All three judges saying that we've got a 79.5. He is going to better it by just 0.2 points, but two very good runs.
As long as the points go up, that's a good thing. So looks like our second qualifying group is getting ready. And that will be up first. Let me see. I want to make sure my sheet is right. It keeps bouncing around for me. Excuse me. Nickel Wakadar will be first. We'll have Kevin Schwartz, Jiwon Lee, Mike Priskowski, and Trey White, and a couple others as they get ready to get in here, warm up the tires, and get that engine oil a little bit warm. Get ready to go. We don't want to. Oh, that's a fantastic question in the chat. You guys got some good stuff going on. We appreciate you coming out today and being a part of this competition with us and helping keep it fun. I'm amazed by the custom cars and the designs and modeling that's come through with some of these guys and these teams this year. It's just eye-candy all day long.
It's top tier for sure.
Absolutely. Up first, we will have Nikhil Wadekar kicking us off here once we get ready to go. Just letting the drivers get their final runs in. And then Nikhil Wadekar is going to kick us off. His spicy BMW F22 action. We are getting ready to go. Looks like we got one more little hot lap. And then we're going to get right in here. So I'm just excited. I'm anxious to see more driving, I'll tell you that much.
Got a whole day of drifting planned out. Can't wait to get into competition a little later. Excited to see what these drivers. I'm excited to see where the bar is going to land.
Me too. Me too.
Judges are definitely being very critical today. Pointing out just about everything going on.
Oh yeah. The judges have the magnifying glass out today, I'll tell you that much. But Nikhil Wadekar up here ready to go. Gonna throw this BMW down the line. We are off. Nice smooth initiation. Little wobble, but nice clean so far. Looks like he's shaking off the nerves on this first run. A little bit wide of that second inner clip. Heavy left foot brake to ensure he grabs that third outer zone. Good commitment through the end of the track, but didn't really properly set him up right to fly through the end zone right at the line. But I mean, ultimately, pretty good run. Good points on the board. So.
Next up, we will have Kevin Schwartz pulling up to the line in his S13. Just waiting for
69.3 for Mr. Wadaker.
Good score.
Nice.
Yeah, he's gonna have to bring in his second run to really solidify him in there, but it's a decent score. Kevin Schwartz pulling away, lights going out. Real smooth initiation, grabbing all of the inner clip. Could have been a little deeper in the first outer zone, filling the second outer zone real well, hugging that inside line right to the inner clip. Missing a bit of that third outside zone, throwing it real deep into the final inner clip. Completely missing it and across the line. Smooth run, but not the ideal line.
Not ideal indeed. Yeah, gonna be big deductions on the point side of things.
Yeah, he's gonna want to clean that
Kevin
up.
Schwartz. Yeah. But up next, Jiwon Lee. And another Mustang.
Another Mustang. We love to see him.
Mustang. I do love to see him. It is a love-hate thing with the Mustangs always, but we're going to wait for this score from Kevin Schwartz, and then we'll get into Jiwon Lee's run.
Kevin Schwartz coming in with a harsh score of 51.3. He's really going to have to bring the heat in his second run to have a hope at getting into the show. I don't think a 51 is going to get him there.
All right. Here we go, Jiwon Lee. Throwing this Mustang as fast as you can down the line and into that first inner clip. A little bit wide of that first outer zone. He is throwing it way too hard. Unfortunately, gonna be a 0 for Jiwon Lee's first run. But I mean, I'm not a judge, thank God, because if I were, I'd probably just put him on top for the 360. That was full commitment and prime execution for the 360. So I'll give that to him.
Points for the 360.
Yeah, always makes me happy. So, you get a what would I call it? I would call it
brownie points.
Microphone points.
Mic points. Nice.
Microphone points. Yeah, we'll do that. So, we will be running on along through this bad boy, and then we'll moving in to Mike Pryskowski.
Mike, you are up to drive.
Mike Pryskowski in the Mark V Supra. Waiting for him to make his way to the line. A driver with TPR. All right, our official timer is counting down.
Mike has a 1 minute timer to get to the line. Otherwise, it will be a DQ for this run.
Will be a soft 0. So we don't want that to happen, of course. But technical difficulties can sometimes not be avoided. But unfortunately, doesn't mean the train can immediately stop on the tracks. So we're going to keep this moving along and take our notes from production. But we're either going to have Mike Pryskowski or Trey White up next here. Jiwon Lee, unfortunately, with a 0 in his run, but 100 in our hearts for the 360. All right. Mike
Just in
Pryskowski
time.
in the Mark V, making his way to the line for his first run.
We're going to wait for those lights to start shining, and we will send Pryskowski on his way. And here we go. Lights go green. And away he goes. Building up all the speed into that first zone. Kind of a hesitant entry, but he does grab the inner clip, missing most of the first outer zone and the second outer zone. Really grabbing those inner clips, though. Real good on the third outer zone. Big angle into the last zones. Missing a bit of that last inner clip. Kind of a shaky run with not the greatest of lines. We're going to have to see what the judges have to say about that, but I don't think it's going to be anything he's going to want to write home about.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And unfortunately, having to hop in and hop out of the server for technical issues and then jump in and just go to the line and drop, I'm sure that had a little bit of an effect on that. Not to mention it's the first qualifying run of his for the day. So, but he'll get some numbers on the board, and we'll move along and have Jason Cope up next.
Score coming in at a 67 flat. So he's going to have some room to make up a little more points in his second run to get him into the show. I don't know if a 67 is going to be enough at the end of today.
Oh, man, Jason with this hot Mustang with concept. Looking very good. Love the way that this Mustang.
I like chrome.
The Hot Wheels, the nice chrome, sharp green lines, good accents. Woo!
Very aggressive.
Big old wang thing.
Big wang gang.
Dual exhaust out the back. Makes me happy to see, man. Super cool stuff. I love the style.
Very JDM looking Mustang. Never thought I'd say it, but looks great.
Man, I don't know. Like, we used to, back in the day, I say back in the day, we're looking at like, what year? Maybe like 2014, 15, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm just throwing years out there. We used to make and play Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport all the time, and we would make liveries that look like this one you're about to see right now, here in a moment, with the chrome underlays and the cool stuff coming through, man. It reminds me of good times. So love to see the style coming throughout the years. And up next, we have Jason Cope. Gonna rip this big wang Mustang. The man from Canada, ready to throw it down. And the lights go down. Jason Cope with Concept Drift Team. Big Wang Gang Mustang. Nice initiation. Clean commitment thus far. Not a lot of left foot brake from the looks of things. Clean transitions as Jason moves through here. Could have grabbed a little bit more of that inner clip too. He maintains the commitment through here. Will he get all of that one? He does with the final inner clip. A little bit wide of the finish. But confident run. Good score. I think a good score is going to come through here.
That was a terrific run. That's what I want to see all day.
Big action here. Oh, I think we'll see a good score. But those tire drops are going to hurt him a little bit, I think. I think they're going to have some issue with that. It's going to reflect through the score a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of score Jason Cope gets here. I've got to turn my air conditioning up or something. My nose is cold and my fingers are cold. Help me, Dan.
You need some hot packets.
Yeah, I need some of them hand warmers. About 20 of them. I'm just going to put them all over my body. That's probably not healthy, but,
It's probably not.
They get the job done, right?
Yeah.
But We are ready to go. Johan Garcia. Carbon Drift Team in the E92 BMW.
We're going to send Johan off. Lights are going green. 3, 2, 1, go. On off in this E92. Huge flick into the first zone. Could have grabbed a little bit more of the inner clip, but filling the first outer zone and the second outer zone real well. Quick snappy transition to the second inner clip, straightening out a little bit for the third outer zone. Throwing huge angle into the last corner, and maybe dropping a tire and not getting too close to those inner clips. Real stylish run, but just needs to sharpen up that line a little bit in run 2.
Yeah, a little.
See what the scores have to say about that.
A little wavery here and there for sure. Oh, Jason Coate came through with a 78.7, and Johan Garcia with a 71.3 on that last run. So up now we have Alex O'Hara and a GT86. Ready to kick this off. Alex O'Hara with REV reverse. And another hot livery to show off here for his first qualifying run. And the lights go down. 3, 2, 1. Hit the skinny pedal. Big wang to keep the rear down and those tires planted as he initiates into that first inner clip. Grabbing all of the first outer zone. Little bit of a tire drop in that second outer zone. Grabs the second inner clip. Good coverage of the zones throughout the second half of the track. Good clean commitment is one thing that I really noticed in that run. A tire drop, but I didn't see a lot of angle wavering. I saw a lot of commitment there. And I mean, that's going to be what sets the drivers apart, I think, in this first round here. Going to be what puts you in the competition, I believe. Scores are coming through for Alex O'Hara.
And circling back, we have Nikhil Wadaker pulling up for his second run. Waiting on the judges' score for
an 87.7 from Alex O'Hara.
Is that going to be? That is going to be a new top qualifier for today.
All right, and now we have Nikhil Wadaker with some more BMW action here for his second run. Will he be able to beat that 69.3? I think he's shaking the nerves off, and I think he's going to do it. What do you think, Dan?
I think we're about to see. Lights going down. They go green. Wadaker peels away. Really gaining a lot of speed. Kind of a hesitant initiation, but puts him right on the perfect line to hit the inner clip great in the second 2 outer zones pretty well, but he misses the second inner clip by a decent ways, which throws him off, and he's missing the third outer zone. He looks to be back online though. A couple corrections, not the greatest line. I don't know if that's going to better his score.
It may not. It may not. I don't know. I mean, that's a really uncomfortable position to be in, I think, right now for him. You know, that 69.3, I think that might be the better run. You know, we'll have to see ultimately what the judges have to say and what they come up with for their score. But
yeah, you're not going to be able to miss zones and get a better score, I think.
No. I mean, you know, he missed that second inner clip, which didn't set him up properly to get through the third outer zone, and that just threw it off the rest of the way, you know. And unfortunately, those mistakes can't be made at this point.
No, not at all.
Looks like 66 will be his second score. So that's 69.3. We'll cover. Up next, we have Kevin Schwartz for his next run, his second run. Lights go down and we are off. Kevin makes his way across the initiation line cleanly. Rides that inner line with the tire off throttle a little bit through the transition, but it's clean with it. A little close to the inside there. Pulling a little bit of angle out to ensure he grabs those zones. Made it look clean, but it's hard to cover up those mistakes. There were definitely some moments where I think that front tire crossed that inside line, and that's going to be a tire drop, so that'll end up being a deduction. Not going to be good. Likely better than that first run, which was a 51.3. But we'll see what the ultimate score is. Jiwon Lee, though, has to put points on the board in his second run here.
Jiwon Lee, if you remember, he was the one who threw it a little too hard into one of the outer zones, and it did end up spinning it around mid-run. So he's going to try and not do that this time. He's going to have to really hope he can pull it together here, shake the nerves off, lock in, if you would say.
Absolutely. We're going to wait for those numbers for that second run from Kevin Schwartz. So, looks like a 68.3 for Kevin Schwartz' second run. Jiwon Lee up next. Got to put some points down.
The lights go down and Lee takes off in the big body Mustang with the big wing. Shaky initiation. Dropping 2 in the first outer zone, but he's back on line. Didn't spin it out this time. Still shaky, dropping another tire in the third outer zone. Going almost backward into the last corner and missing the final outside zone. That's going to be a rough score. I don't know if that's going to get him into the competition, but he can go home with a score.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll be a score. You know, that first drop may have been a 3 tire, and I mean ultimately unchaseable, I think. So not looking good. So
Definitely agree there.
Looking like another 0, but Mike Pruskowski up next. He's in the server. He's making his way to the line.
And it is going to be a 0-0. Unfortunately, Lee will be done for the day.
All right, we got Mike Pruskowski with the first one of the Mark 5s out today. All right, we are about to kick this one out. The lights go down, and here we go. Mike is going to lead us through this one. His second qualifying run here. Hesitant initiation, tire drop on the first inner clip, grabs the first outer zone, making it a little bit nice and tidy as we go through the second half of this track. Grabbing that second to last outer zone, a little bit of a push out there, a little bit of correction, I think I'd call that. Definitely some problems in that run overall. A 67 on his first run. I think I don't know. It's likely he could probably land around the same area. The 2 runs were very similar. Again, Dan, good day to not be a judge.
Yeah, that car looked very fast, but this is qualifying, and speed is not going to make your points go up, unfortunately.
That is true. Yep, not a drag race. Next we have Jason Coate.
Jason Coate pulling up for his second run. He's got a better and 78.7. That's going to be a tricky one to better, but he's going to have to give it his all here. Lights going down. Tearing off in the beautiful Mustang. Big snap into the first zone. Covering the inner clip and the outer zone quite spectacularly. It could have been a little deeper in that second outer zone and could have grabbed a little more of the inner clip. He's kind of being a little shallow on all these zones, but the line, his commitment's there. He's just a little bit shallow. Maybe playing it a little safe. Don't know if that's going to better his score.
Yeah, that first one is 78.7. Pretty solid. But I feel like there was maybe a little bit more commitment in the first one, but there were a couple of tire drops in that first run, from what I recall. So maybe with the lack of not as many tire drops from what I saw in that second run, maybe he'll better that score. Maybe he'll better that 78.7. We have Johan Garcia on the line, but first we're going to wait for that second score, which is a 76.7 for Jason Coates. So his first score of 78.7 will hold. Up next, Johan Garcia.
Johan Garcia pulling up, tearing off, lights are down, bringing this E92 for another run. Big flick into the first outer zone, first inner clip, sorry, grabbing all of it, as well as the second two outer zones. Really on a great line here with a lot of angle. Throw it into this last corner, almost 90 degrees. Could have been a little tighter on the inner clip, but across the line, filling 90% of the zones. That was a pretty decent run there.
Pretty decent. I feel like if we were to break it down and really nitpick it, there was definitely a tire drop on that first inner clip and a big correction to ensure he made coverage of that first outer zone. So a little bit of a beeline there, which will give him a deduction. But I think that'll better his first run. That first run was a 71.3, and this second run had a lot more commitment in it. So
Judges coming in with a 77.3.
All right. Stepping it up a little bit. He does. Up next, Alex O'Hara.
Alex O'Hara looking to beat an 87.8, which I believe is our highest score of the day.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be tricky, but if anyone's going to do it, I think O'Hara has the upper hand on this so far. The lights are going to go out. He's going to take off. That 8.6. Another big wang driver. Big flick into the first inner clip. Really holding that angle, and a lot of it. Filling all the zones pretty well. Light correction going into the second inner clip, but keeps it on a good line. Lots of commitment, lots of speed, and across the line, filling all the zones. It's going to throw that 360 for some mic points.
That's some big stuff. I mean, I think he is more than comfortable in his chair right now at the top with the crown on his head, and I think he's going to be sitting there for a little while. I wouldn't be surprised if this run breaks that 90. Breaks that
Score
90 line.
Coming in. And it's going to be a 90.7. Our first driver in the 90s and securing his spot on his top qualifier so far.
How about that? All right. All right. We're going to get our next group of qualifiers in here and keep this train moving along the tracks. What do you say?
Yeah.
I'm about it. Ready to go. Beautiful track, beautiful day. Beautiful day for me in real life, too. It's gorgeous outside. If there were a way to set this up on the back porch, I would have done it. But I didn't. So I am indoors very comfortably. But
you might have a little bit of glare on the screen.
Yeah, you know what? Sacrifices you make to have fun, right?
Yeah.
Life's short. Go outside. I don't know. Don't listen to me, honestly. I don't even take my own advice. So, all good stuff. But we've got our next group of qualifiers joining the server right now. They're going to get their tires warmed up, that engine oil moving. We're going to get popping around. Dan and I have this cool little drone cam that we're using to drive around and look at all the cars, so we get a sneak peek before you do. Haha. But
And they are looking sharp.
oh man, they look good. This looks like a BMW group a little bit. And yes, maybe I am making a super joke because there is a Mark V in there. But no, these cars are looking amazing. These drivers are locked in, ready to go. Oh, I want to see that one again. Got away from me too fast. Big
370Z action
for our next group. Big names. Big names. Kyle Reinmuth, Lester Oliveira, Braden Swan, Garrett Shaw, Devin Francher, Daniel Lee, and I think Anthony Taylor in this group too. So. All right, we're gonna have these drivers do their last little warm-up runs, and we're gonna get Kyle Reinmuth up to the line to get his first run in because we're demanding and we want to see drifting every second of the day. We don't want stoppage. We just want to keep it. We want to keep it moving, and that's just because me and Dan are needy. You know, if you want to blame it on anybody, blame it on us, I guess.
Couple of needy boys in the commentator booth.
Needy boys over here, just being needy.
My cat's being needy, watching me talk to my computer.
Yeah.
Thinking like, what's going on?
What do you do?
Our first driver pulling up to the line.
Kyle Reinmuth.
370Z.
With the Drift Rose. All right. Oh, man. What a livery on this thing. Woo. Yeah, I like that team logo on that car. That makes me happy.
I like white wheels.
You know, me and metal logos. The style on those works too. I like what's done there. Very cool.
Thanks to me.
You guys will get a sneak peek here in a moment. Not a sneak peek. You get a full peek. You know, you get a full peek. It's okay. We'll give it to you.
We're not trying to hide anything.
No, we're not. No, we just like to see it first to make sure it's good for your eyes. But we're gonna send Mr. Reinmuth right here with the Drift Rose in that 370Z. Picking it off with some V8 action. Good initiation. Good grab of the first inner clip. A little bit of a tire drop in that first outer zone. Grab to the second nice and clean. Stays committed. Not as far inside on that second inner clip as he could have been. But maintains his composure throughout the end of the track. Grabbing as many points as he can.
Stylish run.
Very, very, very stylish. Could have grabbed more points, definitely. You know, there's always room for improvement. That rare 100-point run is, you know, it's just floating above our heads every day. But
Pitcher's coming in with a score in his first run, a safe run, but it's going to grab him a 73.3. That's going to be pretty good going into his second run. He's going to be able to shake off those last few nerves and really throw it down for a good committed run on that second half.
Absolutely. Up next, we have Lester Oliveira, the E46.
Lights go down. He tears off another V8 car. Good handbrake flick into the first inner clip. Not dropping any tires, but filling the zone. Might have dropped one in the second outer zone there. Grabbing those inner clips real smooth though. A little bit of a straighten out into the third outside zone and huge backwards angle into the final corner. Not grabbing all the last outer zone, but definitely points for style. Lots of commitment there.
Yeah, you know, a lot of commitment, but that transition into the final transition going from outer zone 4 to the final inner clip outer zone 5, that didn't quite set himself up the way he needed to. I think.
No, I think the car definitely rotated a little bit more than he might have expected it to.
And Lester matching Kyle with a 73.3. Or, excuse me, not matching. He got a 77.3. Bettering Kyle with a 77.3. Up next, Braden Swan with the E36. All right. Braden Swan, AOM, Art of Motion. Ready to send this one down the line here. And here we go. Good confident flick into that first inner clip. Maybe a tire drop in that first outer zone, but he keeps it together in the second outer zone. A little wide of that clip, but he's maintaining that full throttle activity throughout the rest of the track. Grabbing the points as he can. Definitely one of those runs that ensures you get into the show. So I think his next run, that run 2, is going to be a little bit more risky. And we know those AOM boys get down. So.
Oh yeah. Next up, also from AOM, we have Garrett Shaw, E90 Supra. Lots of V8 cars this year. I think the V8s are claiming the top spot on the engine builds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, the lights are going down. Big A90 action. Nice flick. Maybe a tire drop on that inner clip. A little bit close, but smooth through the first 2 outer zones. Grabbing that next inner clip and setting himself up very nicely to get through the second half of this track. Smooth transition in the final clip, but a tire dropped at the very, very end. Maybe it was a close call, hard to tell. But again, another safe run, but confident run. Confident run, that's for sure. We'll see what Garrett gets on his run. But up next, we'll have Daniel Lee in an S15. But not before we get Garrett's points in.
Daniel Lee in the S15.
Garrett Shaw with an 86.3.
Getting close to that top spot.
Knocking on the door for sure.
Daniel Lee up to the line. The lights are going out. Taking this S15. I think that might have been a little bit of a cone strike going into the first, going through the gate. But he's just going to keep it going. A little tire drop in the second outer zone. Getting real close to the edge of the track on the inner clip. Smoothed out now, though. He's going to throw a huge angle into the last corner, smacking that inner clip cone. That's going to be a bit of a harsh run. He's going to have to really bring it in the next half of that.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he really flew through the start gate, but it didn't really. I don't know if it affected his lead up. Looked like he was pretty clean, but we'll see what his score is. The numbers are rolling through. $72.5 for Daniel Lee. Up next, Anthony Taylor. With a clean flick, we start off Anthony's run, grabbing all of that first inner clip. Good angle through the first and second outer zones. A lot of commitment. Wide of that second inner clip, though. Nearly wide of that third outer zone. Huge angle through the final inner clip and final outer zone. Big commitment, but definitely some tire drops. Gonna hurt him. But
yeah, I really like the second half of that run.
Oh,
lots
of
commitment, lots of angle.
Yeah, the commitment was fantastic. I definitely a comfortable score, I think, to get him in the show. But a run you could also better, I think, in the long run. So good position.
Judges are coming in with an 85.3 for that run. That's a very safe score.
Very safe score to have.
He's just going to be able to lay it down all the way on the last one.
Absolutely.
Next up, we've got Durham in this E46. The lights started to go off, but not quite yet.
Riley Durham with the Grim Reaper on the side. Ready to rip this one. I like this car. Take it away, Dan.
The lights go green. Peels off. Nice smooth initiation. Grabbing most of the inner clip. Dropping a tire in that second outer zone. That's going to hurt his score. Not grabbing all these inner clips either. But he's right on the line at these third to last and second to last outer zones and across the line on the right line. Couple of mistakes. Definitely going to have to clean it up for the next run, but I think he's on the right line and bring it in his next one. I don't know if it's going to be a safe score, though, Bruce.
I don't know. You know, it's we're in one of those weird positions right now. One of those weird positions. So, I don't know. We're
going to grab a 79.3. It's going to be a pretty okay score.
Fairly safe. Could do better, but fairly safe. Definitely, you know, just like the run before from Anthony Taylor. Room to put more points in there. So,
yes.
But still safe. So, Kyle Reinmuth up for his second run. This man with the Drift Bros throw down here. Little bit of a hesitant initiation there. Not really setting himself up right for the first part of the track. Little wild flick there, missing that second inner clip. But moving through here, pretty good commitment overall. He made the light mistakes look clean and tidied them up. You know, but by the end of the run, he was wearing the bow tie, as I like to say. He was looking good. So I like that.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. He was just tightening it up on the way. So good action there for sure. See what he gets for his second score.
I don't know if that's going to be a run that's going to beat his current 73.3. But hey, I'm not a judge. It is not going to better the last run. Scores coming in at final judge putting their numbers in now. It's going to be a 67.
Not going to better that 77.3 or 73.3, excuse me. But up next we have Lester Oliveira. Going to try to better his 77.3.
This Strom livery E46.
Oh man.
The lights are calling him out. And there you go, green. Oliveira. Long burnout initiation, a little bit of a jostle at the start, but he's on the right line, carrying good, confident angle, grabbing those inner clips, making his way out to the third to last outer zone, second to last outer zone he nails, and across the line, filling all of that last outer zone. Pretty confident run, but a little bit of a shaky initiation.
Yeah, that initiation made me nervous.
Did jostle the suspension just a little bit of a weird way there.
Yeah, a little hiccup, bobble hiccup. Scores are rolling in. My first score, a 77.3. Run number 2, a 72.7. So that first run, 77.3, a little bit better. And up next, we have Garrett Shaw. Braden Shaw having some technical issues. Garrett Shaw is up and ready to go. Braden just having some issues, going to make his way in for his second run. But right now, we're going to do Garrett Shaw in that A90 Supra. All right, here we go. Big burnout, big flick into that first inner clip. Grabbing outer zone 1, dropping a tire in outer 2. Not going to be very helpful. Going wide of the inner clip just a little bit, but he's okay as far as his setup goes for the second half of the track throughout the end, grabbing the points where he can. He had a great first run. You know, I don't think this run betters his first run, but he's safe. You know, I feel like he's probably safe, unless they drink the Michael Jordan's special sauce from Space Jam and turn into the Monstars and in the second half of the qualifying group today, or second half of the qualifying group, as in the bottom 32 drivers. We're still in our top 32 of drivers in the qualifying. So, but we've got
next up, we got Daniel Lee in the S15. Big gold wheels.
Garrett Shaw with a 73, not going to better his first run of 86.3.
Yeah, I had high hopes for that run after his initiation, but it kind of fell apart a little bit in the middle. Daniel Lee, though, looking to better his 72.5. He's going to throw a huge entry into the first zone, dropping a tire on the first inner clip. Filling those, he dropped another tire in the second outer zone, missing that second inner clip by a little bit. Good line for the end of the track, throwing a really big angle and crossing the line, filling all the zones at the end of the track. Confident run, but could have been a little more dialed in.
Probably could have. I think it's possible that could better his first run. That first run was a 72.5. So there's a possibility it could improve. That number could go up. Got Anthony Taylor on the line for his second run.
Just waiting on our judge's call to send our next driver. Anthony Taylor definitely waiting patiently. And the score's going to come in at a 73, bettering his score by 0.5. Anthony Taylor pulling off the line.
Good flick. That first inner clip, good commitment, steady angle. Keeping it smooth through the first and second outer zones. No tire drops to be seen. Grabbing 2 hashes of that second inner clip and maintaining that commitment throughout all of that third one and all of that final outer zone with big angle and full commitment. Solid run overall.
That was a really pleasing run to watch.
Absolutely. I feel like it's on par with his first run score, you know, that 85.3 that he had, but we'll see if he goes a little bit above, a little bit below, or matches it right on the nose. Like an 84 he will get, so that 85.3 will hold. Next we have Riley Durham. Riley Durham with the Grim Reaper on the door, or on the back quarter, I guess. Ready to kick this off in just a moment here. The lights are going to go down. We're going to let Braden Swan join the server real quick. I'm going to have Riley Durham hold for a moment just to make sure we don't have any lag upon joining here. So, like Braden is in the server, but let it balance out just a moment.
I'm here and we are all set and ready to go. Just going to wait for those lights to kick on. I'll send Durham down the way. Lights flashing. Then they go green. Durham tears off. Another big flick into the first inner clip. Right on the line. Right on the line of the first outer zone too. Matching that for the second outer zone. Really doing a great line here. A slight correction to get out to the third to last outer zone. Across the line, filling those zones great with a good amount of angle. A little correction here and there, but a confident run. He's looking to beat a 79.3. See what the judges come back with.
All right, we're ready to go. Braden Swan on the line, ready to go for his run two. All right. See if he can better his first run of an 83. And warm up that V8 and let it rip. Here we go. The tires are spinning. He's off the line. Gonna flick it in real hard. A little bit of left foot brake to steady it out through the first inner clip. Grabbing it all. Beating that rev limiter like he's mad at it. In that second inner clip. Grabbing the zones nice and clean. Huge commitment on the angle through the final portion of the track. Big points on the board for Braden Swan.
That was a sweet run.
First run, but man, that second run looked super comfortable too.
Looking to better an 83 on his first run.
All right. We'll see if that 83 is bettered here. 84.2. 84.2 for Braden Swan. Going to better it just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. Our leaderboard is coming through. And man, the scores we have so far gonna begin to get hard to get in here. That's for sure. So, drivers are gonna have to step their game up, make sure they're ready to go. We get through the next one. Got a full group for our next qualifying group coming in. Ready to go. The drivers are joining the servers. getting their quick warm-up runs in.
In another group or two, we will have our cutoff line starting to work its way up the driver list. Top score so far, O'Hare with a 90.7. These drivers are going to warm up to try and better that.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be a challenge. You know, those 90-point runs are kind of hard to come by. So it takes a lot of commitment and checking all the boxes, you know. And as you all know, drifting, it's a judged motorsport. So, you know, a lot of this stuff is subjective, and that's the beauty of it. You know, so. Got some really cool stuff coming up here.
Really unique cars.
Really unique cars. Really cool liveries coming through here again. So these drivers are gonna do their final runs, and then we're gonna kick off this next group of qualifiers here. Got some more Mustangs, some more BMWs. Some S chassis action. All right, the track has been cleared. We're going to get our first driver on the line for this qualifying run, which will be Michael Barris from AOM.
As soon as he pulls up, we will be ready to go. Barris bringing our first Corvette to the line of the day.
With wide body C7 action. And we're going to see him light the tires off the line here. Big flick initiation to start out here. Big commitment, grabbing that inner clip, maybe a little bit of a tire drop, really riding the line there on the inside. But big commitment, great modulation of angle to maintain his line through these zones. He gets most of them a little bit wide of that final outer clip and a little bit of a tire drop at the end, but pretty comfortable score I think will come through for him. Michael Barris will also have a chance to better that number, whatever it is, for his second run.
Bit of a tire drop, yeah, but that was a pretty stellar run up until that point. Like you said, good modulation of angle to keep him on that perfect line. Love to see it.
Up next, we have Terrence Grant, Team Reckless.
Terrence bringing us yet another Mustang to the group. The wheat-looking livery on this. Pulling up to the line, getting ready to tear off. The lights are going down. They are green, and he is away. Doing a long burnout all the way to the first zone. Slow initiation, but he grabs that inner clip real well. Big angle into the first outer zone. Lightly grabbing that second outer zone. And having to make a few adjustments to get out to the third. But he does make it out there. Finishes the run strong with a couple angle adjustments. Safe run, but I definitely think he has some work to do on his second run to really move up the leaderboards for today's standings.
Absolutely going to have to polish that up a little bit to bump that score up in that second run that he has. We'll see what he gets. Michael Barris with a 78 for his run. That was our first qualifier of this group. We'll see what Terrence gets for his score before we move on to Matej Orovec. Excuse me. I bit my tongue right as I was trying to start saying his last name.
The judge's answer's coming in here soon.
You know, side note, Dan, you know when you bite your tongue and then you get like a little sore on it and then you just keep biting that over and over and over? Yeah.
When it sticks out that little bit more than you used to, so you always just grab it.
I've got that issue going on, and I have been for like 3 days. I don't know what.
No.
I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to fix it. But
bite it off.
You know what? Yeah.
Bite it off. Just
cut it
take
off
the
and
pain. Our score coming in for Grant at a 75. That's going to be a pretty good score. We'll see later in the day if that's enough to stay in. But next we'll be moving up to Oravec in this E92 M3.
Clean looking car it is. Firing off the line. Good, nice initiation. Good commitment. And steady angle in the first inner clip. And outer zones. Good transition to maintain a great line to get him through the second half of this track. If he can keep it together, this will be a really high score, I think. I mean, that was
fantastic.
On rails.
Very smooth, very confident.
Will we see a new top qualifier? I don't know.
Gonna be close.
Gonna be a close one, that's for sure.
Judges are going to be looking at this very closely to try and pick that one apart. I don't think they're going to be able to find much wrong with it, though. Ooh, very close to our top spot. It's going to be an 89.7.
Man.
Whew.
David Laxo on the line. This GR86.
Laxo, another one in the Big Wang gang. Cars really do look great with those big wings accenting the body lines.
I agree.
The lights are coming down, going green.
David Laxo off the line.
On a huge angle into the first inner clip. Grabbing all the outer zone 1 and outer zone 2. Smooth entry into the inner clip, carrying that angle. Little adjustment into outer zone 3, little left foot braking, but carries that consistent angle all the way through the end of the track. 1 or 2 corrections, but that was a pretty clean run like our last run.
Going to be a pretty high score for David Laxo. $89.2 for David. Jaden Wright up next. Simon Olsen drifting.
Flying the American flag on top of that car.
All right. The lights doing their flashes and about to go down. Here we go. Jaden Wright kicking us off here. This Mark V Supra with Simon Olsen drifting. Throwing it in, grabbing that first inner clip nice and cleanly. Got a smooth line through the first part of this course. Great coverage and commitment through the second inner clip. They got a little bit more of that third outer zone. It sets himself up real nice to finish out the track. Gonna be a thick one. I'll call it a thick one.
This Group 8 really has some serious numbers coming on the leaderboard.
That's for sure. Big scores coming through for the first runs of the Group 2. You know, they still have a chance to better these. So pretty good overall as we start here. 81 for Jaden Wright. And we're going to move on to Alex Rogachev if he is ready.
Tokachi, another BMW driver, getting ready for his first qualifying run of the day for Husa Racing.